Hey Baddie and Business family, my name is Isabella. I am the owner of two six-figure earning online businesses. Now that these income streams that I have developed have now made over $1 million, I thought now is the time where I can tell you my full story up to now of how I got where I am today. And hopefully by me sharing this with you guys, you will also be able to use my story to not only inspire you, but it could also spark some ideas up for your own life. I'm not just gonna tell you my story today just to try to get something out of you, to try to get you to join into a program, because I have nothing to sell you. The reason why I only provide 100% free education is because I want my story and knowledge to be heard by as many people as possible. And I can't do that if I'm just trying to slang you guys a course to buy. So that's not my intention with this video. I really do feel like there is a purpose behind this wealth that I quickly gained, and that is why I'm making this video right now. Now, before you think, oh, well, she's just some young girl, she probably shows her face and she probably knew how to do everything, blah, 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 or she had money to start. I just want to start off by saying that I do not have anyone in my family that has any sort of business knowledge, finance knowledge, entrepreneurship skills. I literally started this journey from scratch. So back when I was 17 years old, I was at the lowest point in my life. At this time in my life, I had a lot going on. I spent a lot of time alone, and I even cut off almost every single friend that I had. I had struggled with mental illness my entire childhood growing up, and I grew up always going to psychologists and counselors, and becoming a teenager and going through even more things in my life, it just never got any easier. I know what it feels like to have no purpose in your life, or to feel like you don't have any direction in your life at all. I always had a hard time fitting in, and I always wondered, why me? Why am I like this? Why do I have what these doctors are saying, this mental illness? Why do I have these things? And as more bad things were happening in my life, I just was getting worse and worse. And one day I just woke up and I said, either I'm going to live my life feeling victimized and feeling like the victim, or I'm going to take control over my life. And all of a sudden I started to see some visions of myself in ways that I never saw myself. I started to get a very clear vision of what my future was going to look like. And I really can't describe how or why I was getting these visions at the time. So at this time, I said to myself, okay, so what can I do to benefit my future? And seeing my parents work paycheck to paycheck their entire lives, I knew that money was always an issue in their life. They always weren't able to do this or that because of the money, but yet they were so tired from work, and they were, working so hard, but yet not really enjoying life. They were working so hard, but yet still complained that they didn't have money. So I started to just lose complete interest in even having a friend group or having friends, and I decided to just focus on myself, because I knew at that time in my life too, if I were to cut out everyone from the outside world and I just focused on myself, that I would not disappoint myself. Because at the time, there was a lot of people in my life that were disappointing me and hurting me. So this was something that I told myself, was to just focus on myself. So since I really didn't have anything else to do at this time in my life, I literally sat on my laptop and just did research. I Googled different things, I looked things up on YouTube, and back then, there was not nearly as much information out there as there is today. But you know what they say, when there's a will, there's always a way. And I was always able to find ways of acquiring information that I needed to level up my life. So I grew a lot of interest with Twitter, and I even started my own Twitter account. Literally all day, all I was doing was trying to gain followers on Twitter. So I was studying why, tweets go viral. I was studying, okay, why does this tweet so much more popular than the other? How to gain followers. So I started to just really focus on building a following on Twitter. So as my follower account started growing on Twitter, I started making money by promoting small clothing brands and other people that wanted promotion. And I would just have them send the money to my PayPal account. So I started making pretty good money just by doing this. But I knew that there was more ways that I could tap into to make money. So that was when I continued to do research. I soon discovered dropshipping, and I really didn't have that much money at the time to, dump money into a business and like hope it grows. Even though I was making some money from like promoting people and helping other people grow their Twitter accounts, I did not want to risk losing any money because that's how I viewed money from the very beginning. I was so afraid of losing money because of what I heard growing up and how much stress money caused in my own household. So I figured out a method to start dropshipping with completely $0. At the time, I used my Twitter account to sell my actual products. Everything was actually going really awesome and my store was growing really fast. But of course, my mom did not approve of what I was doing. Her first thought was, you're doing something illegal. There's no way that this is legit. There's no way that you can actually make money doing this. What are you doing to people? And I looked at my mom and I'm just like, I've started a business, and she just, even though I showed her how much money I was making from it, it just wasn't valid in her eyes. Like I said, I really don't have anybody that I had as a mentor. I never paid for a course. So I was just going based off my own experience. And even though I was making money from this online store, I just got so discouraged with what my mom was saying, what society was saying, because at the same time, I was trying to save up for dental assisting school because being an entrepreneur was just not even a direction that was even possible or that I saw possible. I saw what I could do on my own without having to go to a 9-to-5 job. I still didn't even believe in myself and I didn't even believe that what I was doing was possible. So I followed society's path and I stopped dropshipping and I wound up getting so busy with my full 9-to-5 job. I also wound up saving money and then going to college, which was a huge deal because I actually graduated from a dropout prevention program. If you guys are familiar, I went to Bayside High School, which is literally a school right across the street from the county jail in my city. It was probably one of the worst schools that you could go to, but that just goes to show you how much I was struggling at that time in my life. Not only that, but I actually thought of myself as being dumb and being inadequate. I had no idea that I could actually even accomplish going to college. But I still decided to take this society route because I was doing what I thought was right. At this point in my life, I was working, I was going to school, and I just couldn't juggle trying to be an entrepreneur and having my own business. So I still kept up with different side hustles. At this time, Instagram was more popular, so I was doing more collaborations with brands. I figured out how to grow my Instagram page. So my side hustles never stopped, but I still was following society and what I thought society wanted me to do because I thought that was right and I was wrong. So fast forward to 2020, pandemic hit. And you guys know everyone was off school, everyone was off work, a lot of people got laid off. At this point in my life, I was in dental hygiene school and a lot of the money that I had saved, I was paying in cash to go to school. So it was a lot. And I really had to come up with more creative ways to afford my monthly bills and to also pay for school at the same time. My program was almost like having a full-time job just without getting paid. So at this time in my life, my gears started to kick in and I said, you know what? I'm almost I need to just figure something out. So at the beginning of 2020, I had heard of TikTok. And at first, I thought it was a really stupid app that just kids were on. I literally thought it was so stupid. And when I first made my TikTok, I literally made a TikTok account of my dog. We just love her so much and we wanted to share her with the world because she would literally have us cracking up laughing. And we just said, let's make an account for her, just for fun, not thinking it would go anywhere. And remember too, back in this time, there were no reports of how TikTok can benefit your business or how strong TikTok is. No one was really talking about that back then. So I started posting TikToks of my dog in the beginning of 2020. And all of a sudden she started to gain a following. And at first I'm oh, that's cool, but what can I really do with this following? But then I started to discover that I could use her account to start generating certain types of income. At the same exact time, I decided to start an e-commerce store because I saw how quickly my dog's account was growing. So I said, okay, if I could grow that account, I can most definitely grow another account too. So I started my e-commerce business with $100. I literally could not risk money buying ads. And I even remembered that back when I was 17 and I had my dropshipping store, I never bought ads either back then. I literally just made my own posts. So I said, okay, well, if I could do it back then, I can definitely do it now. So my new niche was my business. I literally did not even show my face to grow this business. And most of my viral TikToks literally did not include my face, just my hands. The First thing that I started off selling was lashes. I actually started to try to sell lashes because I'm like, okay, I'm into lashes. So I was making like packaging videos, like how I make the packaging for the lashes. I was trying to come up with like different content ideas to get views because I knew that eventually, like if I get one viral TikTok, that could really like explode my business. I probably will grow a lot just by getting one viral TikTok. Because if you guys are unfamiliar with how TikTok works, it's basically like, I sometimes feel like with TikTok, like you just never know what's going to go viral. So I just was posting a bunch of different things to try to figure out like what was going to go viral. And remember too, I was literally a full-time college student at this time too, guys. I literally had tests to do. I still was on like Zoom in class. Like I was still a full-time college student in dental hygiene school. So like for people that, you know, they say, oh, I'm too busy, I can't do that. You can do that. And I was literally only posting 2 to 3 times a week. So I soon realized that the lashes weren't selling on their own. Like I literally didn't get any sales. Like my first month with starting this store, I literally got no sales. I went to my friend and I was like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. Like I'm not getting any sales right now. Like what is going on? And I almost quit completely because I felt like an idiot. I even posted to a Facebook group and I just felt like really like almost like embarrassed. And like that was also why like I didn't really use my personal Instagram to promote it or anything like that, because I didn't want to like promote something that like eventually I thought would fail. Like I still didn't have like full faith as an entrepreneur at this time in my life. So after selling a few lashes, finally, I said, okay, let me see if I can go and find like little bins and try to bundle these products. So finally, as I was making TikToks of like bundling my products, finally one of those TikToks went viral. And that was my first viral TikTok and I made $20,000 in 1 month. In this same month, we started getting some brand deals with my dog's account because remember, at the same time, we were growing her account. So we were making cute videos together with her. At that time, we were making around $300 for one post. So after I got that $20,000 month and I saw that we were also making some side money from my dog's account, I said, you know what, I really need some more time on my hands. So the job that I was working while I was going to dental hygiene school, I quit. So I did not quit my steady job until I was already making that much a month. Like I would never tell you guys to just quit your job and like just become an entrepreneur because that's not the reality. For some people it is. Like some people literally quit their job and like they just blew up, but I would never advise someone to quit their job because I don't know your individual situation. I don't know your financial situation. So like I would never just like publicly advise people to just quit their jobs, quit their 9 to 5, and then just throw money into a business and start. Like it just doesn't work that way. There's really no telling like when your business is gonna start popping off. So as time went on, my business continued to grow. And remember, my dog's account continued to grow as well. I had no idea that any of this would happen to this degree because you guys know I started my online business with literally $100. Like I didn't like, you know, throw all this money in and I had all these investors. Like I just had a small business plan. I just had a little idea that just grew and grew and grew and grew. And I think another important aspect is I didn't just rely on one thing. I was growing my dog's account at the same exact time and, you know, learning how to create new videos, things like that. Because that was another thing too, guys. Like I didn't have any of these skills. Like no one's just born with these skills. Like I learned everything from scratch. And that's another thing. Like I literally just like learned from like watching a bunch of different YouTubers. That's another reason of like why I made this channel. So you guys don't have to just watch a bunch of different YouTubers. Hopefully I try to be that one and all channel for you guys. At this point in time in 2021, a lot of other social media platforms started to get threatened by TikTok because TikTok introduced the Creator Fund. And even though TikTok's Creator Fund really doesn't pay that much, other social media platforms started to see they're losing their monthly users to TikTok. So in order to keep their monthly users and people active on these social media platforms, they started to offer bonuses. At this time, we already were growing my dog's YouTube channel. So her YouTube channel was already growing and we were making money from her YouTube channel. But now new opportunities started to open up as well. We just continued doing what we were doing and just growing these accounts and just trying to find any bonus opportunity we could find. And this past year, in 2022, was literally the craziest year that we've experienced being small business owners and content creators. We started making over $80,000 a month from these income streams. And if you do want to hear all of my income streams broken down, I do have a video on my YouTube channel about how we make $80,000 in 1 month. So I will link that video on this screen right now as well. I include analytics there as well. Like I said, I literally have no reason to lie. And I know a lot of you guys are like, this is unbelievable. Like, trust me, like, I feel the same way. Like, I literally cannot believe that this has even been possible for us. Like, for me to think back on my life, I was literally 17 years old, doing a bunch of side hustles. I was working at a gas station, serving. I was working 2 jobs at one time at one point, and, you know, doing my side hustles back then. And I was trying so hard to do what society was telling me to do, rather than fulfilling what it seems like I was meant to do all along. I do always say it's never a failure, always a lesson. And it's just so crazy to think that the money that we made in a single year, I would have had to work 8 years working full time just to make that. Literally had no idea that it would get to the level where it's at now. My original goal was to finish college and work a couple days as a dental hygienist and then start a business again. But like in the back of my mind, I always knew like what was meant for me. Even though I let society tell me what to do, I always had like this thing in the back of my mind telling me to like go after online business, because I don't know what it is, guys. Like, I'm telling you, I have nobody in my family that told me anything that has business experience, nothing. Even like financial planning skills, like literally nothing. No investment, no investors or anything like that. And back then when I was 17, I did not believe in God, but I'm telling you guys, this was not just me. And I did not just get lucky. And that's why I really do feel like, and that's why I believe in God so strongly now, because I look back at my life, and before I found God, I was asking myself, like, who do I think? Like, it's not just me in the mix here. Like, it is not just me. Like, how did I just wake up one morning? I was super depressed, and I woke up one morning, and I just had all this ambition. I had these visions of my future. Like, there's literally no possible explanation for that. And if you would have known me back then when I was 16, 17 years old, you would not have recognized me. That's why I know for whoever was watching this right now, if you are going through something hard in your life, just know that this could be your chance to have the biggest comeback of your life as well. And life is all about setbacks. There's things that are going on in people's lives every single day. And that's why it's just so important to, whenever something bad happens to you, to always use that as a way to come back even stronger. And to look at anything bad that has happened to you as something that can make you stronger as well. Because the reality is we're all just trying to get through life together. Like, we're all learning. And back at this time when I was 16, 17 years old, I saw a vision of myself helping other women, helping other people. And I couldn't explain that. And it's just so surreal to now be doing it, to now have over 300,000 YouTube subscribers, able to talk to you guys from my heart, tell you guys my story, and not only that, but help you guys start businesses of your own, and just basically share all the knowledge I have with you guys. That's why I will always say, like, all glory to God for real. But remember that we have free will in life too. And if you're waking up every day and you're giving into negative situations and you're letting negative situations affect you instead of learning from them and maybe making changes in your life that are necessary for your growth, rather than following somebody else and listening to what everyone else is telling you, if you have a feeling of wanting to start something or do something, do it. Because I personally could have saved so much time if I just would have not listened to anyone else around me and did what I wanted to do. And now that I look at my bank statements and, you know, we're in the process of like getting stuff prep ready for tax season, things like that, I'm looking at my bank statements and these forms and I'm just thinking, it's just so surreal. And we've now made over $1 million with all of these streams of income over these past 2 years. And I just had no idea it would get to the level where it is today. And you know, back then I used to ask my mom, you know, like, why don't I fit in with these other kids? Why don't I fit in with like what everyone else is doing? I always felt like the outcast. Like, even when I tried to fit in and I tried to do the cool things that really ended me up in bad situations, I always asked, like, why am I the way that I am? Like, okay, you have anxiety? Good. That means that you think more than the average person. You have ADHD? Okay, that means that your brain's moving faster than the other person. It's society that makes these things something bad. Anything that you have right now can be turned to good. And I'm telling you that from someone that literally grew up going to counselors, and I've been told that I'm mentally ill. I've been told that, you know, I have mental health problems, I'll always have them, and I genuinely feel so much peace in my life. And it's really not about the money that gives me this peace, it's the purpose. Just by me being able to acquire these things in my life, I have been able to give so much more. And I finally know in my life why I was different than everyone else was because God had so many plans for me. But I failed to see that. If you feel like you're in the position where you're not doing like what society is doing, or are feeling alone in life or you kind of feel like an outcast, that's a good thing. And you should embrace that because God made us exactly who we are for a reason with a bigger purpose to fulfill. If you would have told me this back when I was 16, 17 years old, I would have called you crazy. I would have said like, wow, like she's actually crazy. But from me at that age being so depressed and seeing this vision, and this vision actually came true because I chose to follow it and I chose to make these decisions to get to where I am today. That's what's so important. That's why I always say God has given you everything you need to succeed. When you wake up every single morning, there's something that you can do to work towards a better future, because the things in the past that happened to me, what I went through when I was younger, those things, I can't fix those things. You cannot change the past. If you've made mistakes in your life, you can't change those things. But what you can change is what you're going to do in the future and how you are going to become and the person that you are going to become in the future. That's what you need to focus on. Back in 2021, when I really started to see how sharing my knowledge could help so many other people, was when Baddie in Business was born. I started talking to so many people in my personal life, and everyone was saying like, you need to sell a course or you need to sell an ebook, or like they were trying to, just give me their friendly suggestions. And I really just thought like, what can I really do to share my knowledge and to help other people? But I knew that like selling something, like I'm not going to really make a change or a difference in this world just selling a program, just like everybody else, all these fake gurus that don't even have a business, like that's their business. I knew that I had to do something that could impact the most people, which is why I started to post here on YouTube. And I'm so, so grateful every single day to be able to wake up and know that I can come in this room, I can make a video for you guys, and not only can it boost your spirits and, make you more motivated, but I know that I can help you succeed in your goals as well, and to help guide you to the amazing plan that God has for your life as well. Because I know how it feels to be lost. I know how it feels to have no direction, and I've been through it, and I genuinely feel like I went through those things for a reason. So you guys know I have an entire free course playlist on my YouTube channel with a bunch of free courses that I'm continuing to add to every single week. People charge thousands of dollars for the information that I give for free. All I ask in return is that you hit the subscribe button and like this video for the YouTube algorithm so my story can be heard by as many people as possible. And if you have any questions, I try to respond to all of my YouTube comments as well. So if you have any questions, you can comment down on any of my videos, and I try to take time out of my day every single day to answer all of my comments. Wishing you guys all the best with your online business ventures, and I will see you guys in my next YouTube video. Bye everyone.